This video will give examples of inventories and division of properties and how to find them. Inventories is a list of all the personal items that the deceased person owned that are part of his estate. Inventories do not usually give you more than the name of the person who is deceased. The inventories were usually done fairly soon after a person died, so a person can estimate the year of death from the date of the inventory. The fun part of inventories is seeing what your ancestor owned. It is challenging to read the handwriting, and some terms are different than what we are used to, like looking glass, which is a mirror. Some of the common items found in inventories are animals: mares, cattle, hogs, ducks, chickens. Those are some of the very common animals that you see. Furniture, such as beds, tables, chairs, etc. Hand tools, hoes, hammers, rakes, and more. Books, Bibles and all kinds of books, such as law, educational, and reading books. Farm produce, oats, wheat, corn, cottonseed are a few. Farm equipment and wagons, all kinds of kitchenware, from utensils, pots and pans and plates, and serving bowls. You never know what you'll find in these inventories. Here is a snippet of an inventory. See if you can transcribe any of these items from this inventory. If you can get past the reading part, then the question is, do you know what they are? A large jar. Dark bay horse, Davy. I am not sure if Davy is the name of the horse or has something to do with the kind of horse. I think it's the name. Bay is the hair color of horses, characterized by a reddish-brown or brown body color with black point coloration of the mane, tail, ear, edges, and lower legs. Ditto means the same as the previous or above item. Thus, another dark bay horse. Now, if Davy is the name of the horse, I don't think they had two horses named Davy. Large iron kettle. Backgammon board. This item helped me know that this person liked to play games, and these people did have time to play some games. It was not all work. Carpet. I believe this means there were two carpets. One large carpet worth $11, and the second one, a smaller one, worth $1.90, for a total of $12.90. Demijohn. This one took me a little while to figure out. I couldn't figure out if it said D-I-S-N-A, or D-I-N-N-A, but it's actually D-E-M-I-J-O-H-N, and a demijohn is a glass encased in wicker. A wagon and gear. A lot of old plows. Now, I'm assuming a lot is like a group of plows, not meaning a lot, many plows, but a lot of old plows. What did your ancestors own? I have a few challenges for you. Challenge 1, find an inventory of one of your ancestors. That's a pretty big challenge. 2, see what items you can read in the inventory. 3, see what items you use today. 4, look up items that you don't know what they are. Do we use the items today? How have they changed? What is it called currently? Use items that were in your ancestors' inventory, such as the one we just showed you. It had a backgammon game. So you might want to get a backgammon game and learn how to play it. Now let's talk about the division of property. This division of property for Cornelius McHaney is done in sections. His wife is not mentioned, so it is assumed that she has already passed away by the time of this division of property, which takes place in 1815. The first section is a division of slaves, and they are listed in lots of numbers 1, 2, 3, etc. Number 1 goes to Cornelius McHaney, a son named after his father. Number 2 goes to the children of Francis, his first daughter, who has passed away by the time of the division of property in 1815. Her death date is not known, but from this record her death date can be estimated as 1815 or earlier. Number 3 says it goes to Samuel Hubbard in the right of his wife, Polly. Polly is Cornelius's daughter, and she is married to Samuel Hubbard. This is common that the husband is listed, but it usually does say who the wife is. The record continues on and gives a listing of each of his children and the slaves they are to receive. Because of space and time, I will just list these 3 children, but you get the idea of what we find in this division of properties. This next section is the dividing up of Cornelius McKinney's land. Each of his children are listed along with the amount of acres they are receiving. John, Cornelius, Mary, Polly, Celia, and Frankie McKinney. Since Frankie is deceased, her children are also listed: Cornelius, Mary, John, Robert, and William Turner. Look how many family names we find in this section of the division of property. His children, daughters with their spouses, and one daughter's children. This is why the division of property can be so helpful in verifying family members. The next section shows a survey and layout of the land and who is getting the land. Sometimes with these surveys you can figure out where the land is on current maps. This next section shows who is receiving his personal property and the value of each item. I have just taken pictures of portions so you can see the different names and how it's laid out. The question and challenge then is, who are the people? Many times they are just neighbors, but sometimes they are somehow related to the family. You can try and research the different names and see if you can find a relationship. We find Daniel DeJarnette, George Gilbert, a son-in-law, Samuel Pennell, Thomas Martin, and Cornelius McKinney, another son. There are pages and pages listing who received his personal property. I find it fun to try and read the items. Many items I cannot read, or I don't know what they are. One item on this list that I can read is a shotgun. Have fun reading these division of property records. A dower is the legal term for allotting the wife her rightful inheritance. This is a dower for Polly Anderson. She is the widow of Thomas Anderson. So this record tells us that Thomas Anderson's wife is Polly, and we learn that she has outlived her husband. I have tried to transcribe this portion. See if you can read any of it. This next section of the dower tells us that one of the neighbors was the Fitzgeralds and another neighbor was the Crenshaws. The end of this tells us the date of the 11th of October 1815. From this we learn that Thomas died before this date and Polly is still alive. I have tried to transcribe this as best as I can. You can see the translation below. I will have a video in the near future talking about land records, and it will discuss about the degrees of north, south, east, and west. It will also talk about the distance when using poles. I will also discuss some of the markers that are used, such as white oak or large stone. This is the last section of this dower. I have not put it all up here, but I want to show that on occasion they draw out the survey of the land. This survey was done on the 29th of September 1815. This gives you a visual view of the 250 acres of land she inherited. I was able to find the basic location of her land on a map because of the 2 rivers listed. This is where I figured that Polly's land was. Many of these records can be found on Family Search. Watch my video on finding wills to see how to search for probate records. I hope you will have the courage to venture into finding these probate records. It really is fun when you find a record of one of your relatives. Happy hunting!